Good evening. It's 7 o'clock. I'm going to call the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. Our first item of business is Pledge of Allegiance, and I would call on Selectman Baker to please lead us in that.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. All members of the board are present. Approval of the meeting minutes from November 5th, 2020. Hope everybody had a chance to look at them.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of Thursday, November 5th, 2020, as presented.
Is there a second?
Sarah Muska, Selectmen, I'll second.
Any discussion or corrections?
Just for a point of clarification on the first page, the guests, they have Jennifer and last name. That last name is Abbe, A-B-B-E.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You would have no way of knowing that because it was just her first name on the thing.
Is Jennifer Abby with us this evening too?
Is she?
There's a Jennifer.
Is it Jennifer?
Yep.
I'm here with Rachel.
Yep.
Nice to hear your voice. Any other corrections to the minutes?
I did not see any.
Seeing none, the motion is to accept the minutes as corrected. Selectman Nordell.
Aye.
Selectman D'Souza.
Aye.
Selectman Baker.
Aye.
Selectman Muska.
Aye.
Thank you.
Public participation. This is one of the public's several opportunities of addressing the board. Please identify yourself by first and last name and home address. If you don't want to participate in this public participation, there's another one towards the end of the meeting. Are there any comments from members of the public? Any comments from members of the public? Seeing none. Our next item of business is, I'm sorry, what was that? All right, we're going to move on to communications. I just wanted to, and in your packet is a letter that I wrote to Secretary McCaw at OPM regarding the South and Phelps Road issue. We'll talk a bit about that more when we get to agenda item 8B, but I just wanted you guys to have a copy of the correspondence. We have no resignations. We do have a reappointment. Mr. Strempfer has been a longtime member of the Agriculture Commission and his term is up. Is there a motion to reconsider or reappoint him to that board? Good night, you guys. Thank you.
Sarah Muska, Selectmen, I will move to reappoint James Strempfer to the Agricultural Commission as a regular member for a term expiring December 31st, 2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. Selectman Nordell.
Aye.
Selectman D'Souza.
Aye.
Selectman Baker.
Aye.
Selectman Muska.
Aye.
So carried. Our next is the appointment of Natasha Holmes as a member of the Diversity Council for a term expiring August 20th, 2024. Ms. Holmes is on the call if anybody wants to ask her any questions or if she'd like to introduce herself. Otherwise, I leave it to the board.
I would like for her to introduce herself if you don't mind.
Sure, no problem. I'm gonna go on camera. All right. Let me just remove this background. You can see me a little better. Okay. So, hello, my name. Oh, sorry. My name is Natasha Holmes. I am a resident of East Windsor. I've been here for about 4 years now, I think going on 5 years. And a mom of 3, wife, work in IT. What else would you like to know?
Your application indicated that you were involved in a nonprofit.
Yes, so I currently serve as the president of the Hartford Alumni Chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. We are a professional women organization that spans from undergraduate level to graduate level. We particularly deal with community service to women and families, as well as address scholarship needs in the greater Hartford area, because that's where our charter is, as well as as well as sisterhood.
On your application, it says you assist families moving into East Windsor also?
I assisted families living in East Windsor. I don't believe so. I think that was talking about some of the services that we've done as an organization to assist families and children.
Currently a service president of service organization with assist families and children moving to East Windsor.
There's a comma there.
Not on my copy.
Really?
Okay, I just wanted clarification.
No problem. Any other questions?
Thank you, Ms. Holmes. Members of the board, what's your pleasure?
Make a motion to appoint Natasha C. Holmes to the Diversity Commission as a regular member for a term expiring August 20, 2024.
Is there a second?
Selectman Nordell will second that.
Any discussion on the nomination? Seeing none. Selectman Nordell.
Aye.
Selectman Sousa.
Aye.
Selectman Baker.
Aye.
Selectman Muska.
Aye.
Appointment is carried. Thank you for stepping forward, Ms. Holmes.
Thank you. First Selectman Bozeman, is it okay if I exit?
Sure. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a nice night.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So the next item of business is just a brief update on the South Road ownership situation. You guys saw the letter that I included in the packet. I do have confirmation from the Department of Housing that it has been favorably referred from them to the Bond Commission. So the only outstanding matter there is to wait for the Bond Commission to schedule a meeting. That, as you guys know, has been kind of a moving target. It was going to be the last week of October, the first week of November. Apparently it's not that. Now it's going to be, or the next iteration of that was either going to be before or after Thanksgiving, which I suppose is still true. But there isn't one that's on the horizon in the next few weeks. Again, my hope is that they'll do one more in this calendar year. I don't expect that this issue would be really in any way contentious, but we can't move forward with it until the Bond Commission acts. So we're kind of in a holding pattern. I sent a letter of support to the Bond Commission. Senator Anwar has, and he's spoken with the governor's office about it. So I'm confident that it's going to be on an agenda. It's just a question of when it will be on that agenda. In the meantime, we're in a holding pattern. So any questions on that?
Nope.
Okay. The next one, and the next couple of things were holdovers from our last meeting. In your packet are the final election results. I wanted really to draw your attention to the ballot questions that were put forward. Charter revision questions and the Broadbrook Fire District ordinance on the ballot the intention was to capture a wide perspective of voters. We wanted to really be as inclusive as we could with that. I think the results bear that out very, very well. All of these passed with at least 65% support. That is, now granted, most of them were not controversial, but the numbers were staggeringly good. And I have a breakdown by district of the, let me find it, of the question 4. So in Broadbrook, question 4 passed with 71.4% support. And in District 2, it passed with in Warehouse Point, it passed with 82% support. So it was a total of 76.5% of voters were in favor of the ordinance as drafted. That's pretty staggering. And I'm really, really glad that we did it that way, because I think now we have clear marching orders from voters across town to make sure that or indicating that this is a solution they want to see us effectuate. So we have marching orders here. There's going to be some work that needs to be done to implement that. I had a preliminary conversation with Chief Arcari today, but their new commissioners are still getting sworn in and haven't even set their first meeting date yet, although that's likely to be in the next couple weeks, at which point there will be some feedback to bring to you guys for us to figure out what the town's position is going to be on implementation. But the overwhelming sentiment on these 4 questions was all supportive of what we were trying to do. And I think taking a relatively moderate tack there showed that we can move forward collectively. Did anybody else see anything in the results that they wanted to touch on?
Jason, I just want to bring forward, today we got notified from the Secretary of State's office to double check our write-in candidates. But it's a blanket memo that went out. Our write-in candidates I verified, and they are accurate. So we're good there. And we were also notified today that we are not on the list for an audit this time around.
Not on the list for what?
For an audit.
Oh, good. Any other questions or comments on the final results? Okay. We're on to the budget guideline letter. Last night, the Board of Finance affirmed without correction the letter that we had submitted to them at our last meeting. So unless you guys have any further changes that you really want to make, I'm ready to send that out tomorrow to department heads with a return by date of the middle of December so that they'll be able to start putting their budgets together. Okay?
Yep.
I am waiting on more information from ACI. I did have a conversation with Attorney Andriana that I'll update you about in executive session. All good news, all favorable, but I'm waiting on more information from Mr. Alberucci. So until I have that, that's going to stay there too. Item number 8F, based on the conversation I had with Chief Arcari today, I'd ask that we postpone that.
I'll make that motion to postpone item 8F, fire marshal fees ordinance to a later date.
Second.
Any discussion? Selectman Nordell,
Aye.
Selectman D'Souza,
Aye.
Selectman Baker,
Aye.
Selectman Muska.
Aye.
Okay. Our next item is the 824 referrals for the 2 parcels that we had sent to Planning and Zoning Commission. The first one was for a recreational easement on 343 North Road to help expand the American Heritage River Trail Park there. And the second one was a gift of land adjacent to the town farm off of, I guess it's off of Rye Street. So the commission has approved moving forward with both of those referrals. Under the statute, we now need to go to a town meeting in order to accept the land. I did speak with the family that's donating the land off of Plantation Road, and they're still interested in doing that, and I gave them an update on what the process is. So the selectmen need to refer these 2 items to a town meeting for, because that's how we adopt, do any transfer of properties through the town meeting process.
So basically, this will be sitting in the hopper until further notice.
Well, there is an executive order that allows us to act on some of these issues that are more timely, and one of these, in my estimation, may be more timely than the other for health reasons. So I think we can make some progress on that. Anybody have any questions about either of the two projects?
I would just say that the second piece that's on the town plantation road is also in the watershed and also steps us a little bit forward as far as the um, American Heritage River Commission future plans for any river trails. So that's great.
Yep.
Do you need a motion?
Please. To forward the two items to a town meeting.
All right. So I make a motion to forward the, I'm just looking for the address. I've got myself, forward the passive recreation easement for 343 North Road and the gift of land for 00 Plantation Road, MBL 0244230 to town meeting.
Selectman Nordell will second that.
Any further discussion? Selectman Nordell,
Aye.
Selectman D'Souza,
Aye.
Selectman Baker,
Aye.
Selectman Muska.
Aye.
All right. So the next item is included on our agenda at the request of Chief Barton from Warehouse Point. As you guys know, they're doing an expansion of their firehouse, and they're incurring building fees, and the chief asked that we consider waiving those. I think that makes sense to do. I am reasonably confident that that's something that can be done just by this board. Rand was not able to point me to a specific statute other than to the one that adopts the building code by reference. So based on the past precedent that's included in the packet, that was done ministerially by the Board of Selectmen the last time this came up. So I just throw it for your consideration, and then we can figure out what we want to do. And before we get to that, I'd ask the chief if there's anything he wants to add to that.
No, I don't really have anything to add. I know when we did the roofing project at Station 2 on Stoughton Road, we didn't end up having to pay for building fees. And it just doesn't seem like that's what should happen to the taxpayers. We're charging them twice. They're getting charged to do the project, and then they're getting charged building fees. So that was just my feeling on it, and I appreciate you guys looking at it.
Chief, you had mentioned I think it was you that mentioned in our packet that you had paid the wetland fees, which, of course, just came through wetlands, and it didn't even occur to me that that you had paid those, and we probably shouldn't have charged you those. I know some of that is state fee, and not much we can do to it. But are you also looking to get a refund of those fees that you paid that can be refunded?
I was hoping to. I mean, obviously, if it's a state thing, I don't think we can do anything about it. I'm obligated to pay those.
Yeah, part of it goes to the state, and part of it is ours, I think. But I think we could go review that, and I don't think it would be a big deal to refund it.
Yeah, I would like it to be reviewed if you guys could. And I know we got a couple other things coming up with zoning board of appeals and zoning, so I'm not really sure what fees are actually involved. So, I mean, obviously we can't do anything with the state ones where we need to pay those. But
yeah, no, we've voted on wetlands to ditch the fees, except for the state fees with town projects before. So it's not a big deal.
okay.
Building and permit fees, yeah. So Chief, that might fall under a separate statute. The zoning fees may fall under a separate statute. We can look into if that becomes an issue. But my intention in bringing this up tonight was certainly to address the building fee. I admit I read that quickly, and I saw the building and permit fees, and I saw building permit fees. So I talked to the building inspector. I haven't talked to the planner, but I think that based on past precedent, it seems fair to simply, waive them in this case too. Anybody
I would appreciate it.
Anybody feel differently on that?
I just have a minor concern. And I realized back October 18th, 2016, they said it was okay not to charge for permits, but there's nothing to back that up. And I'm just concerned we have a lot of entities in town that if they go to renovate, are we setting a precedent to all of those quasi places not to have to pull a permit? That's my only concern.
Well, we still have to pull the permit. It's just the fee.
Right, you're not gonna pay the fee, but you have the libraries town, you have Scott Hall in town, you have Park Hill, that's a quasi-government agency, and the list goes on.
Well, I would think they'd have to be a municipality, some sort of a municipality.
Yeah, it's primarily, I mean, and the point is like I think was pointed out in the packet is like, you're charging them the fees and then we're turning around and charging the taxpayer for it. You know, it's like kind of, you're getting billed twice.
Oh, I understand what you're saying, I agree with that, but I just want to make sure we're not setting ourselves up because we haven't got anything cast in state statute or any ordinance from town, that's all.
No, yeah, I hear you. I think it's basically would be any, you know, we would only consider this or only have ever considered it if it's some entity that taxpayers are paying for.
Mm-hmm.
Rand's suggestion was to have the policy apply to quasi-government agencies located in the town, so it would exclude the libraries as well.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have a problem with that either. I mean, it makes more sense to do that. I mean, if we give them a grant, right, the taxpayers are paying for that service, and why then take it out of their pocket from the backside on something like that? And it's not like it's substantial amounts. You know, I think the wetlands fee was like $1,300 or something like that. And probably 5% of that goes to the state or something like that, and then the rest of it we could probably refund. So.
So just to give us something to stand on here, I'd ask for a motion for from the board to waive the building permit fees associated with the Warehouse Point building extension.
I would agree to that. Go ahead, Sarah.
That's okay, Maria. I'll second it. That's fine.
No, go ahead. I didn't make a motion.
Oh, okay. Sarah Muska, Selectman. I will move to waive the building permit fees for the Warehouse Point Fire District Building Addition.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
I would just add that you should probably go and see about, I don't know, maybe we take it up in the Wetlands Commission, but you should see about getting a refund for the wetlands permit too, for the part that is refundable.
That you guys are gonna do that, or you want me to send them a separate?
Talk to Ruth and see what, we might need to add, the commission might need to authorize an agent decision. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think we have to do anything, but we could put it on the record that way.
Okay.
And Ruth had initially come to me about this issue before I got Chief Barton's email. And the way that she and I thought had left it was that whatever we did for building would also be done for from a wetlands perspective. But I could be misremembering that conversation. So Chief, if you want to circle back with her, certainly what our intention is.
Yeah, I'll check into it.
All right. Motion is on the table. Selectman Nordell.
Abstained.
Selectman D'Souza.
Aye.
Selectman Baker.
Aye.
Selectman Muska.
Aye.
So carried.
Thank you.
Aye.
Are you welcome?
Tax refunds.
Sarah
Selectman-
Muska. I will move to approve the tax refunds totaling $1,549. Oh, I think we have 2 pages, excuse me.
We do.
I did not, totaling $2,510.46 and $1,549.15. Give me a second here.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Second.
Charlie.
Yep, motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? Selectman Nordell,
Aye.
Selectman D'Souza,
Aye.
Selectman Baker,
Aye.
Selectman Muska.
Aye.
So carried. Selectmen's reports. Feel like I've done nothing lately but write. On November 10th, I met with town staff to discuss implementation of the new Broadbrook Fire Service ordinances. They raised a number of points that will need to be cleared up as we move ahead. And we'll talk about that once I've had an off the record with the new Broadbrook Fire Commission chairman. On November 12th, the emergency management staff began the process of reviewing the town's communication system. Our existing radio system is past its useful life, and replacing those systems can be quite costly. So the group is looking into the most cost-effective way of providing services that we need to continue to support our emergency services. At our first meeting, the group heard a presentation from the Connecticut Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, where representatives from the agency explained some of what the state system could do and what it could not do. And after the discussion, the group agreed that the town would be best served to bring in a third-party consultant not affiliated with any particular product or service to help develop a recommendation for the town. So that working group will draft an RFP in the coming weeks that'll be brought to the selectmen for consideration. Congratulations to Sergeant Derek Lieb on his recent completion of the Southern Police Institute's Administrative Officers course in Louisville, Kentucky. This is one of 3 prestigious advanced training courses in the country, and it's a big accomplishment for Sergeant Lieb and for our local police department. Our local health district has reported that COVID cases in the region are increasing very rapidly now. Testing and contact tracing are still keys to battling back a new spike in cases. To help with testing, the town offers live virus and antibody testing every Wednesday, now at the Town Hall Annex. To help with contact tracing, the state has rolled out an app compatible with Androids and iPhones that can notify you if you've been exposed to someone who has tested positive for COVID-19. More information about that can be found at ct.gov/COVID-alert-CT. The town has also added a weekly tracker to the town's website so people can see the latest numbers in our community. The thought behind that was that we're now far enough into the pandemic and with a resurgence likely in our midst that we want people to be able to compare where we are to where we've been. That'll be updated weekly. The town of East Windsor is establishing a scholarship fund through the East Windsor Community Services Department in memory of Elizabeth Burns. The scholarship will help families in our community during a difficult time in their lives. Betsy's passion, dedication, and commitment to East Windsor was strong. She worked for the town social services department for more than 30 years. Through her time as an employee and having served on several town boards and commissions, Betsy touched the lives of many East Windsor residents in their time of need. It's our hope that this fund will continue Betsy's lasting impact for generations to come. Anyone interested in contributing to that scholarship can reach out to the Community Services Department. The Community Services Department will also be partnering with the East Windsor Police Union on November 28th for the annual Stuff a Cruiser event outside of the Super Walmart here in town. The drive is a big part of the success that we have with our town-sponsored holiday toy drive, and we really appreciate the support from the police union. That will be between 9 and 4 on the 28th. The town still has children that need adoption for the Christmas holiday season through that program. Anyone interested should contact Community Services. And I wanted to recognize a local business in town who I thought did something really generous given the circumstances this year. Taylor Energy is donating 100 gallons of heating oil per week for 6 weeks to local veterans. I thought that was a really, really generous thing that I wanted to share. Having a local forward to do that is really awesome. Selectman D'Souza.
Yes. I'd like to start off by wishing the community a happy Thanksgiving. Regardless of how you plan to celebrate, please take the necessary steps to be safe, but most important, enjoy yourselves. I would also like to thank those individuals that voted this election cycle and all your patience while waiting in line. On October 19th, I attended the South Road Land Proposal Meeting held at the Town Hall Annex. On the 21st, the Broadbrook Mill Site Remediation Committee was canceled. That's the whole committee is on hold at this point. On October 26th, the Elderly meeting was canceled. October 26th, I listened in on the Zoom meeting for the Diversity Council meeting. On the 27th, I worked the voter registration table from 3 to 8 p.m. at Town Hall. October 30th, I attended a training session at the Town Hall, the Annex, for the presidential election, along with new poll workers. On November 2nd, I, along with several other individuals, spent the day counting absentee ballot envelopes and marking official documents accordingly in preparation for the presidential election. On November 3rd, I worked at Town Hall Annex as moderator for the presidential election from 5 a.m. to 1 a.m. on the 4th. I then continued the necessary process to validate the information provided as head moderator until Friday the 6th, meeting the state mandatory time frame for completion. November 9th, I zoomed into the Park and Recreation meeting. A discussion was held regarding the East Windsor Dog Park closure that took place due to heavy rain. A lot of the work they had done because of the rain was disturbed. And then there was the need for, and there's going to be moving forward, there'll be a need for a conversation regarding a proposal to turn the dog park over to the town. And that is a request from the committee that's currently handling the dog park. Updates were given on the progress of the renovations of the Abbey Road, soccer fields, and East Windsor Park. On November 20th, the Broadbrook Fire Department meeting I missed due to a family conflict, and I haven't been able to reach out to find out what they discussed, but I will do that. On November 16th, I attended the Housing Authority meeting at Park Hill. A motion was made to change their meeting dates from the third Monday of the month to the third Wednesday of each month, starting December. The resident service quarter position is currently vacant. Interviews have been taking place, and they have a candidate in mind. We'll see what happens with that. They are also working with Eversource and Green Bay for energy savings up at Park Hill. On November 18, the Broadbrook Mill Site Remediation meeting again was canceled, and that's all I have.
Alan.
I'd just like to start by thanking Marie for all the effort that she puts into the election process. I know that's got to be a pretty draining experience. Thank you so much for the work that you do with that.
Thank you.
Pretty much all I've got is I have not been reporting on the pension negotiations because pension negotiations are confidential, but I will just say that we have two ongoing that I'm involved in at this point in time, the CSEA and the police pension. Police pension is just one little loose end to tie up, and hopefully we'll have that finished. And then CSEA is ongoing. We'll be able to wrap that up without too much trouble. That's all I have for you tonight.
Charlie.
Okay. On November 11th, I attended the Police Commission meeting via Zoom. The Traffic Authority discussed the Silverman Group project. They have now accepted the plans as presented and have concurred that with the new scale of the project, the turn lane added to Route 5 and the widening of the end of South Water Street will be sufficient to handle traffic. They also completed the traffic study of Crescent Road, which was very extensive, but they have decided to refuse the request to make it a one-way road. Logistically, it's just too difficult, especially with 3 towns being involved. Raymond Cusco joined for his first meeting and was very well received, having been on the police commission before. Chief DeMarco said the new dispatcher has started his position, and like Jason reported on, Sergeant Lee had graduated from the Southern Police Institute for administrative office course. On November 12th, I attended the PTO meeting via Zoom. This past Wednesday, they hosted bus driver appreciation. Each bus driver got a bag of goodies consisting of things like snacks, bottled water, hand sanitizer, masks, and other useful items, all donated by parents in town. And today, the PTO sponsored Teacher Appreciation Day, in which all the staff at Broadbrook Elementary and the East Windsor School received a free lunch to help get through the long day of parent-teacher conferences. The PTO also discussed a holiday fundraiser and ideas for future fundraising. I hope everyone has a safe and happy Thanksgiving, and that's all I have this week.
Thank you. Sarah?
Okay. Veterans Day was mild and beautiful this year, a perfect day to honor our veterans and their families for their service and sacrifice. On the morning of November 11th, I was happy to join many others in attending a touching Veterans Day ceremony at the Joe Tracy Memorial Green. Thank you to the American Legion Post 40 and the East Windsor Veterans Commission for putting on such a moving ceremony honoring those that served and those that continue to protect our freedom. I was extremely touched by the missing man table scene that was enacted, symbolizing the emotions and feelings reserved for those service members who did not come home. Later that day, I attended the police commission meeting that Selectman Nordell commented on, and I also would like to extend my congratulations to Sergeant Derek Lieb and welcome him back to East Windsor. The Board of Education met on that evening as well and recognized the Outstanding Student and Crystal Apple Award recipients for the first quarter. Broadbrook Elementary School Principal Laura Fox gave a literacy update. In the beginning of the school year in 2019, using a survey from the Connecticut Department of Education, the school conducted a student performance assessment, and unfortunately their progress was put to a halt due to COVID in the spring. One area needing improvement is phonics, as only 42% of our students are performing at their grade level. With a more consistent schedule in the future, the school is hoping to put an intervention program in place. Daryl Ruley, our Director of Curriculum, informed the board that students who are currently learning at home full-time are not performing at the same rate as those who are coming to school. There is some regression in the areas of reading and math, and teachers are attending instructional classes to learn how to add more rigorous teaching techniques to their lesson plans. As of this past Monday, November 16th, all grades pre-K through 12th should be back into buildings 4 days a week. I attended the Board of Finance meeting last night. The board regretfully received the resignation of member Barbara Patano. I had the pleasure of serving with Barbara on the Board of Finance. Her passion for our community, financial background, and dedication will certainly be missed, especially during the budget season. Due to this resignation, there will be a Democratic seat now open on the Board of Finance. If you wish to seek this vacancy, please fill out an application, which can be found on the town's website. Treasurer Amy O'Toole informed the board that the town received a new building permit for the Silverman Group project, totaling $104,000, as well as 25% of our ECS funds, our pilot money, and $81,000 in coronavirus relief funds. Dr. Christine DeBarge updated the board that the Board of Education will revert about $38,000 in CARES money to the town's general fund, as they were able to pay for their pandemic expenses from their budget. For fiscal year 2021, the school district's 2 grants totaling approximately $500,000 have been approved. Pauline Stockpot, located at the Wesley Methodist Church at 55 North Main Street in Warehouse Point, will be providing hot meals to those in need on Thanksgiving Day. Arrangements must be made in advance. Please visit their Facebook page for sign-up instructions and to schedule a pickup. Wishing you all a safe and happy Thanksgiving. If you cannot be with your loved ones, find comfort in knowing that you are not alone. Please be kind to your neighbors and friends. A smile or a simple gesture can go a long way in letting someone know that you care. And that's what I have.
Okay. Public participation. This is the public's second opportunity to address the board. Are there any members of the public who would like to add something to the discussion?
Hi, this is
Ms.
Dixie. Hi, I just wanted to say that you guys are doing a great job,
Thank you.
and I just wanted to say thank you. And also, I wanted to ask a question. I was sitting here listening, so I thought, well, I'm just going to write my question down. I was driving down 140, right across from Dunkin' Donuts, there's the senior housing complex being built. And I noticed that there's no turn-in lane going into that complex. And I was concerned about the traffic that is there on 140. Across from Dunkin' Donuts, we've already had several accidents already there. And with the traffic slowing down and turning into the complex, I thought maybe that would make the traffic worse, especially during rush hour. And I was just wondering if you guys knew anything about that, or if they are putting a turn lane there. It didn't look like one, so I was just wondering if you were thinking about doing that, or something, just checking on it.
Sure. First of all, thank you for the compliment. It's always nice to hear and certainly appreciated. Regarding your concern about the Watermill Landing site, 140 is a state road, and so that becomes the jurisdiction of the Office of the State Traffic Authority.
Okay.
When that project was being permitted, the requirement of the question of whether or not to require a turn lane as a condition of approval was debated at length by the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Okay.
Chairman is a DOT engineer who works either with or closely with the Office of the State Traffic Authority. So if there is not one there, it's because they have data that supports that there isn't a need for it. I don't believe that there is one going in, but I know that concern was talked about several times during the permitting process.
Okay. Well, thanks. I just thought I'd bring that up because I was thinking there's a lot of accidents there already, and we don't need more.
Yeah, especially
Okay.
when it's in the wrong spot.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions or comments from the public? Okay, then we're going to have a brief executive session that will not involve any votes. So Peg, all you'll need is to catch our time of adjournment. If I could ask for a motion to go into executive session, including just the five of us, that would be appreciated.
Make a motion for the Board of Selectmen to go into executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? Selectman Nordell.
Aye.
Selectman D'Souza.
Aye.
Selectman Baker.
Aye.
Selectman Muska.
Aye.
Okay, we're going into executive session at 7:43. It is 8:32. We're coming out of executive session. No further business to come before, unless there's any further business to come before the Board of Selectmen. I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
Motion made by Selectman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Selectman D'Souza. It's non-debatable. Selectman Nordell.
Aye.
Selectman D'Souza.
Aye.
Selectman Baker.
Aye.
Selectman Muska.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 8:33. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.